Okay. Uh, I now want to, go a little deeper into this chai thing since you love it. So the negatives of chai.
Yeah.
Uh, जब भी हम उस दूसरा हैबिट भी उठाते हैं कई बार वो भी हानिकारक होता है मे बी इंटेंसिटी कम होगी एक है 100% हमको हानि पहुंचाता और the other one is like only 40% bad but
Yeah.
40% 40% bad. My I this question comes from my daughter asking me like I am a chai freak most of the days when I'm here till I go to a course. Once I go on a
Yeah.
personal course, I can live without chai. I can live with so much chai. I can live with no chai. So she asked, "What do you do there?" I said nothing because I know I'm not going to get food because I'm an old student after a certain point. I know if I
Hmm.
do this and if I have acidity, I can't talk. So all my poisons are defined.
Hmm.
I know if I am going to do this, I have to pay for this. So if you're going
Hmm.
with acidity for an entire day, and on the contrary, there have been days where I've started a course with fever. On day one,
Hmm. Hmm.
before the first hour itself, I have fever, and I have kind of
Hmm.
decided अब है तो है अभी कुछ नहीं कर सकते. I am not going to
Hmm.
complain. I just be with it. And in 2 3 days,
Hmm.
it's either gone or not gone, or I have taken medicine. Depends upon what was the truth of that moment. I'm saying the mind when used uh, with uh, with wisdom
Hmm.
is very powerful. The same mind which craves for tea outside here, and I don't even miss it on the first day itself. It's not that,
Hmm.
like you said, those 2 3 days, there's nothing like that happen because mentally you're clear.
Uh-huh.
You do it,
Right.
you're going to pay immediately. There's nobody
Hmm.
telling you not to do. They give you tea in the morning.
Hmm.
I think new students get it in the evening also.
Yeah.
Idea is idea is you have told yourself. I think you did set that context that these are the things that your regimen is about. The Vipassana,
Hmm.
specifically, I'm talking only about the one that I do. I'm sure there are other courses, other things that people do. But here the regimen is it's almost like an army. You go in, there's not much
Right.
you're allowed, there's things that and now you don't even mind it because you go because you like that regimen.
Right.
That is the least of your worry. There. So my question to you is, um, I want to bring in not really a sum up as of right now, but at least whatever we've spoken, some of the values that have stood up for me very beautifully. Um, One, I like the conversation because, like most of the recent conversations, everything is now contemporary, like real lived
Yes.
life rather than some philosophy that you've read in a book or seen on screen. We have enough gurus preaching what to do, but we are falling short every now and then. So that's where I
Yes.
like all my guests who bring in this sense of चाय नहीं पिया तो क्या पिया तो क्या and if you don't take that break what happens if you
If
always
you can just give me a moment, my daughter is just she's just woken up once.
yeah. So my question to you is if one were to have these values instilled in oneself, one is what I realize is there is a regular sense of study about oneself.
Yes.
Sometimes you talked about the greed for more pav bhaji, but on the other hand, you also talked about its correlation with your health system, talking about constipation or other health issues that came up because of. Uh, some points you talked about going to a lesser evil, which is biscuit and chai, not knowing that that may also cause some equal effect,
True.
but intensity will be low till the time you find something which helps you out. So at all junctures, what you're doing is you're studying your body, going back to your mind, you're correcting your mind, you're coming back to the body. This is a constant sense of experimentation. So my question to you is, when this thirst for more is being analyzed by you with whatever you are doing in your
Mhm.
regular day to day, whether it is work life that you described, the earlier mistakes you used to make that you overaged yourself to get the job or just to feel responsible, a false sense of Superman ego, if I were to call it, that I am going to do it
Yeah.
no matter what. Uh, It sometimes helps. I will not even say that everything is cast in stone. Sometimes you overreach yourself and you really deliver, and you know that that's the extent I can push myself to. There was a friend of mine I was talking to, I think a couple of weeks back, Niren Bhatt. I think you know him. We met
Yeah,
him.
Nirel.
So Niren was talking about how hard he's worked, and one of the points I liked was you cannot say that I'm not going to try it at all. Unless it is drugs or some stuff that you can't come out of.
Yeah,
If there is work, if there is some kind of professional delivery that you're looking at, service standard that you're trying to match, I think without sacrifice, without a lot of dedication, hard work, discipline, you're never going to crack it. Uh,
yeah,
some lucky people might who are geniuses or like very talented, but not like every music director can't become a AR Rahman for that matter in India if we were to use a context. But that does not take away the fact that when you listen to Rahman, he talks about own system. He also talked about the responsibility that you mentioned that he works only in the night because long ago he realized that's the only time that works for him. He gets into the zone
hmm.
much better, and uh, so I'm sure he's not
This is
talking
interesting. Huh?
about jobs he must
He
have.
works in the night because night works for him.
Yeah, yeah,
Quite interesting. Yeah.
yeah. The beauty is that he's never spoken about how many jobs he may have lost because of that. But because he stuck to
Mm.
his ability to look at a format which worked for him, people started accepting him according to the format that he did. Uh, so my question to you is: Do you analyze these things? You said that you sit and think. So sometimes, do you think how can you be a better person? How can you reduce your greed and craving for more, or reduce some habit which is impacting your life in a negative manner? It's not easy at all. It's not easy at all because this lust for food, for conversation, for
Yeah,
other
yeah,
people's company, the opposite sex, everything is into overdrive,
yeah,
considering
yeah, yeah,
the kind of world we live in also. So how do you? I just want to get into your mind right now. What do you do? What do you tell yourself?
yeah.
Uh, is there anything that you talk to yourself about such stuff?
Yeah. See, two things common between you and we both is we both are writers and we both are vipashis in some sense. So you will relate to what I'm saying. We get into a habit of two habits, which we should keep a distance, safe distance from, and we both get into that. One is overthinking, and other is self-analysis. Too much of self-analysis.
Okay.
The happier people are the ones who are analyzing themselves much lesser than probably you and me. They are much happier. I've
Okay.
seen that. So what happens is we do analyze ourselves a lot more, Surinder, and we also tend to put conscious effort to correct ourselves because we are right thinking people, right? So we always keep on thinking, boss, ये थोड़ा ज़्यादा नहीं हो रहा है, ये this should have, okay, let me. And we also speak to ourselves a lot. Somewhere internally, this conversation, this dialogue is always happening inside. So at times, I even like, if it's a dark room and I'm all alone, there is nobody, I would even move my lips to talking to me as if I'm the other person. I would prefer just venting it out that way.
Yeah.
So coming back to your question, that you have to reprogram yourself once you've spoken enough to yourself. Once that someone inside.
Can you make it less psychological and give us a real life example, even if it is small?
Yeah,
What?
yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I'll tell you a few things. I uh, I used to go through this whole period of anxiety. Okay, and big time. So I used to call up someone and speak to them for hours, at least, yeah, for hours probably. So today I would call up somebody else, then I would call up somebody else, then I would talk. And soon I realized that I'm talking too much. I'm talking too much in that particular, time. And obviously a lot of thinking, a lot of over analysis or whatever you call it, just made me realize I become boring when I talk too much because I've shared too much of unnecessary information with the other person. Okay. And second, I cannot look for a daily solution like this, you know. And that anxiety had something to do with an episode in my life. Somebody very near to me had passed away, and I had a daily routine of anxiety because doctors used to come. It went on for like a month. Doctors used to come, and I used to go through that episode. They used to check the kid. They used to come back. Until then, I had this anxiety, and I had no clue what the doctor is going to say. I would just try to read the doctor's face, and that after that, I carried that anxiety for years, Surinder. Not for months, but for years in me. It's still there in me, but at least now I know the beast. I'm able to. It's more. I've tried to tame that beast. Otherwise, the beast was overpowering me all the time. So one, I tried cutting down on amount of talking I would do on the phone with other people, and try to occupy myself, engage myself with something else in those hours when I need to talk to someone for hours at length. Talking to someone is one thing, and just talk is another thing. So that needed a lot of reprogramming, understanding कि boss ये क्या चल रहा है यार, ये तू गलत कर रहा है. And you know, otherwise I would have gone into that habit for way too long, and it would have as you know, as your subject is more, this would have only grown. फिर ये 3 घंटा हो जाता, 4 घंटा हो जाता, 3 phone calls, 5 phone calls, God knows. But and there are always some people who will pick up your call and they will talk to you for hours. ठीक है, तो वो तो, those are the ones who have you know. And when you realize that, you start putting an end to it. And putting an end to it also is also an exercise because anxiety is there ना. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि anxiety root को यही चला गया. Then you are looking at other things. Probably your breathe. It's got a lot to do with your breathing. So probably you find solutions within what you know and what you've done. अगर
जी.
किसी ने वो नहीं किया है, and they've done something else, they would try, you know, addressing it with whatever they know and
Hmm.
whatever they have experienced and whatever they have done, Surinder.
Hmm.
And so it requires proper reprogramming, reconditioning of your mind, putting another habit altogether. And it's difficult, but always get yourself to transition from one habit to another. Don't stick on to a habit for long. If you stick on to a particular habit for long, it is going to become you know, dil mange more is going to be there. You will keep overdoing it. It will get into an overdrive, and it will consume you rather than you
So
consuming it.
what is this that you, okay. One is, if I were to break it, so one is acknowledgement that there is a problem. So sometimes that itself doesn't happen for the longest time. You keep on thinking it's normal, yeah, I've gone through such a big life changing
Hmm.
event. Why shouldn't I talk? I'm not harming
Right,
someone, I'm not going out killing anybody, or I'm not getting drunk, or I'm not
right,
ABC, whatever I am.
right,
So one is acknowledging the
right.
fact. The second is acknowledging that you need to do something about it,
Yeah,
and then ensuring that you put in the required steps to deliver on what you want to.
right,
Without that, then all of it becomes just one more thought process, which itself is not
right.
useful. Like you said, it can just keep on growing. So even good thoughts are useless as bad thoughts are. They are just thoughts.
Absolutely.
Thing is coming to action. So you're saying actual concrete steps have to be taken. So I would I would want to end somewhere here in the sense of I like the fact that we have discussed the psychological impact of what tends to happen inside when we get stuck to a certain mentality of greed.
Hmm.
I also like the fact that you put in the requisite discipline. Maybe your discipline, it resonates with me definitely. I personally also try and see what I try and do is my secret is basically that I try and reduce the intensity. The moment the intensity
Okay.
is reduced, then there is a lot of space to, मतलब then it is no longer a big deal. तो 4 दिन
Hmm.
पाव भाजी तक पहुंचती नहीं है बात, 2 दिन पाव भाजी पहुंचती है कि यार अभी बोर हो गया, आई टेल माई सेल्फ
Hmm.
हो गया, तो तीसरे दिन खुद ही उसको फिर बोर हुआ है तो क्यों खा रहा है, चल कुछ और खाते हैं,
Hmm.
नहीं आ रहा है बट वैसे भी पाव भाजी में भी मजा नहीं आ रहा है, इज गॉन.
Good.
So
Hmm.
I try and diffuse the tension that it is otherwise creating. Not always successful. Not everywhere am I as good at it, but at least that's what I try and do. There is a, flip side to it. That means you never commit yourself fully, but that itself requires another set of discipline to keep working, keep working.
Hmm.
There also I reduce the intensity by saying कि आज बस इतना कर ले, but कर ले. Keep on doing
Hmm.
this. Then take the other step. बस अभी इतना. Now let's do इतना. Let's do इतना.
Hmm.
So that makes it smaller. So
Hmm.
also another one of the great monks that I've read and listened to a bit, a guy called Ajahn Chah from the
Hmm.
foreign tradition. Somewhere I think he had said, make everything small. Something I mentioned in some other podcast as well. Make everything small effectively means is do not make it so big that it goes out of.
It consumes you.
So then you can't take a decision about it anymore. Because
Hmm.
either you are saying it today, I'll sit for meditation, I'll get up being a Buddha, it's not going to happen. Or else you're saying that I'm going to quit drinking, or I'm going to quit smoking, or I want more of this, or I want less of that, or this guy irritates me, that example that you're giving. Nothing is going to go away in the first day. Today you
Hmm.
decided, okay, I won't let him irritate me as much. But when you go there, you realize, oh my God, the same guy again, I can't stand him. But then you say, no, I promised myself. I'm not
Hmm.
doing like this. So you let go. That much is enough for day one. Because you made a dent in a habit, which is a strong flow of things. So you just made
Right.
a small dent. You've just gone against the tide for a little while. I think that entry point is one of the most important aspects of the journey.
Hmm.
Obviously, the journey is going to be difficult. In your case, my fear of your idea of having replacing it with another habit is that habit forming itself is very compulsive. So that's where I've gone through that obviously, and sometimes I still do that. But I try and puncture it as much as I can. This
Hmm.
chai is a way of puncturing it.
Quite
Sometimes
interesting.
the chai itself. My sister had come; she had given some kind of chai, which is nice, but it is not what we say in Mumbai language, "आँख को लगने वाला." Like
Chunk.
so non-milk tea is like, yeah, it's good green tea, but it's not tea. It's just hot water.
Yeah.
Hot. But some days I have it just to not give myself what I want. That I'm not going to give
Yeah.
it to you. Do whatever the hell you want. So that tells me that I have a little more control of my mind than my mind has control of myself. This is also,
Hmm.
I try and be a parent like that. I tell my kid, things that you like, you shouldn't do as often, and things that you don't like,
Yeah. Place a premium over it. Place a premium over everything that you really like. So even where we started is just sitting at one place and probably thinking about or not thinking about or being away from your gadget for an hour or so. Just place such a huge price over it कि बॉस इतना इतना काम हो गया या इतना इतना जब मैं vacation लूंगा when I'm not in. I'll do that only when I'm not in town, when I'm not in Mumbai. So you suddenly placed a heavy this thing over it कि oh boss, this is a trophy for me. तो जाऊंगा और बैठूंगा, कुछ नहीं करूंगा, बस स्विमिंग पूल के किनारे या बीच के किनारे खाली बैठूंगा, बस that's it.
I think that's a wonderful end to the episode. From more to little less, I can't say less, absolutely yes, but just puncturing the more and having a little less of everything. But thank
Yeah,
you so much, Jay, for joining, and this has been a wonderful talk. We covered a lot of ground. I hope the listeners enjoy as much as we did. I
yeah.
certainly made a ball.
Thanks a lot, Surinder. It was lovely talking to you as always.
Yes, thank you. I'll see you around. Bye.
Yeah, see you soon. Bye.